Hello everybody and welcome back to my channel. This next video is our part 2 of our trying to conceive journey, and this will bring you guys up to speed, so I hope you enjoy. Coming into 2018, it was on our minds, but it wasn't. Like, it was still devastating each month when my period would turn up to know that we weren't pregnant, and then you'd get your hopes up for the next month. I tried ovulation strips as well, and I couldn't work out how to use them properly. I don't know, I never got really a positive reading from one, and then all of a sudden the one day that I was going to write them an email saying I think your product's defective, I ended up actually getting a positive reading. I think it was because I had too much fluid intake, but anyway, that's a different story. Yeah, so I started monitoring my own ovulation. I was tracking everything at this stage as well through a tracking app called Flow, and I was just logging everything in. But with me, that became obsessive. It was every day I would log stuff in, every day I would symptom spot. It just led to mental exhaustion. I just could not keep this up. 2018 was also a very big year for us. We were working full-time jobs, then we were doing weekend work. We were getting up at 4:30 every morning to exercise as well. On top of all of that, we decided that we were going to sell our house. It was just an extreme year for us. Coming into the middle of 2018, a lot of people around us decided that they must have wanted to have kids as well, because a lot of people started to fall pregnant. That for us started a long year of 2019, because a lot of people obviously either had their babies, or a lot of people in 2019 decided to get pregnant as well. And it was very hard for us because you have to sit there and be happy for them, and you are genuinely happy for these people, but you're also sitting there in the back of your mind going, well, why not us? Why is it not our turn? You know, we've been doing this a lot longer than everyone else. Yeah, so it was heartbreaking. So coming into 2019, I started to have all these thoughts about, you know, what's wrong with us? What's wrong with me? Is there something wrong? Like, am I not ovulating? Do I not have any eggs? You know, what's wrong with Dan? Is his sperm count not good? You know, these type of thoughts, which just led to days where I didn't want to get out of bed. I didn't want to go to work. I just didn't want to do anything. I just wanted to have a big pity party. So it was a real struggle. And I thought, no, I need to do something about this. So I went to my local GP. She gave me a referral to a fertility clinic, which was really, really good. So we ended up going to the fertility clinic. I think it might have been in May or June of 2019, because we did go to Canada in April. So we didn't really want to start anything prior to that. Okay, so fertility clinic. When we got to the fertility clinic, it was a series of questions. We gave her our backstory, how long we'd been trying, the miscarriage history, everything like that. So when we left there, the first lot of testing we had to get done was I had to go for full bloods, which was fine. I don't mind getting blood taken. Except when I went in there, I was like, oh yeah, and they'll take a couple of vials. 6. They took 6 vials of blood. And I just remember looking at the lady, and the list that I was being tested for was like this long, and it was like a full page, like wide. I thought, oh my God, you know, surely there's nothing that they're not testing for, Nilly. Anyway, so that was all good. I had to do that, and Dan actually had to have his semen tested as well, because, you know, they look for count, abnormalities, all that sort of stuff. So after that, then we had to go back. It all goes on my cycle. So you have to ring them to say, yep, look, it's day 1 of your period, and then they can book you in for your next ovulation scan. Yeah, so she just wanted to do an internal ultrasound on me to see when I'm ovulating, or if I was ovulating. Everything was normal. Everything was fine. So I was a little bit disappointed. I don't know whether I was disappointed that there was nothing wrong with me, or I was happy that there was nothing wrong with me. I don't know, because if there's something wrong with you, at least then they might be able to like diagnose it and like help you fix it. But anyway, so after we had that internal ultrasound, she said, no, you are ovulating. Then We discussed the next step, which was having a procedure called a high cozy. Now, back when I had the infection and had to stay in hospital, I didn't know this, but she said that that could have caused blockages in my fallopian tubes. Again, you know, you don't know this stuff when it's happening to you and no one actually tells you. So yeah. So she said, we'll do this procedure called a high cozy. So I basically have to have dye in my fallopian tubes, and then they do an internal ultrasound as well and just watch the dye go through just to make sure that it is flowing, and yeah, hopefully it clears out any blockages if there was any. That was on our next lot of testing. I had that procedure done, and I also had to go back after that for another ovulation scan. That was in our first couple of months of going to the fertility clinic. All of our testing came back normal. We were diagnosed with unexplained infertility, which, as you can imagine, is a bit frustrating because there's nothing wrong with you, so you don't understand why it's not working. But anyway, it is what it is. After our last lot of testing with her, she said to us, you need to wait, you know, a good couple of months. If you're feeling a bit patient, then, you know, we can wait a little bit longer. If you're not feeling patient, then you need to come back after Christmas, because by the time we finished all the testing, it was about September last year in 2019. I thought, okay, I am feeling patient. Let's give it till Christmas and just see how we go. By the time Christmas rolled around, I was actually in a lot better mindset of it. I was a lot more calmer, and I was going to just accept if we were having a baby or if we're not, basically, which was really good. And then January rolled around. I just had one of those really, really bad days, and I got so flustered and upset at work, and I just thought, no, I need to go back to the fertility clinic. So I gave them a call and I made an appointment with them. Yeah, so I went down, saw her by myself because Dan doesn't need to come to all of them. I asked her what my options are. I want to know, going forward, what are our options? And this is what she told me. You have a couple of options. The first option was in uterine or in uterine insemination. I think that's how you say it. I'm not too sure. Anyway, this procedure happens when they take a sample from Dan, they concentrate wash it, get the best ones. Then when I ovulate, because they monitor you for ovulation all the time, when I ovulate, then I have a procedure where they basically just insert the semen up past your cervix so it doesn't have as far to swim. That's the general gist of it. So when you're trying naturally, obviously it has to go a lot further. This one, it just shortens the distance for them. And the success rate on that was very, very minimal. And I thought to myself, well, why pay for something, because it was about $1,000 for something that doesn't have a really good success rate? You might as well just try naturally. I mean, that's just how I weighed it up in my mind. So the next option was IVF. And I thought to myself, you have got to be kidding me. They are our two options, just two, nothing else. And I sat there looking at her going, well, I'm not ready for IVF. I'm not ready to put my heart on the line for months at a time just for it to be broken at the end. I know that's a bad way of looking at it, but what happens if it doesn't work? And I know I should be looking at the what happens if it does work, we get a baby, and that would be amazing. But at this stage, I just looked at her and I thought, I'm not ready for IVF. We both weren't ready for IVF. That, and financially, it just wasn't viable for us. So I sat there and I looked at her and I said, okay, what about a tablet? Is there any tablets that I could be taking to give me a fighting chance? And she looked at me and said, the only one we talk about in the fertility world is called letrozole. She started to describe letrozole to me. The way I understood it when she was explaining it was, letrozole is more for ladies who have PCOS or don't ovulate regularly. I don't have those issues because among my testing, she said that I ovulated, and she also said to me that I have a high egg count, which, you know, is really great for me. As she was sitting there talking to me about letrozole, she did mention the fact that because it does help you produce the egg to ovulate, letrozole can actually increase your chances of having twins or triplets. She wrote me a prescription for it, but she said because of your egg count, I am going to put you on a shorter dosage of it. So with letrozole, on day 1 of your cycle, you have to get a blood test to make sure that you're not pregnant. It's a bit redundant, but anyway. So you have to get the blood test done, and then when you get the okay, you get to start taking letrozole on day 3 of your cycle, and then you're meant to take it for the next 5 days. So when she said this to me, she said, okay, but what we're going to do with you is that we're only going to get you to take it on day 3 and only for 3 days. Round 1 of letrozole started, I got the blood test done, got the okay, day 3 started. I did not notice a change at all. Nothing, just nothing. After all of that, then you have to book in obviously for another ovulation scan. So I booked in, we went down. She said, oh, okay, you're not where you want to be, your follicles. It's a good size, but we want it to be a little bit bigger. So she said over the next 4 to 5 days is probably your best bet. Then my period came again. So round 2. Round 2, same thing, went for a blood test. I was good to go. So I started taking the letrozole on day 3 and only took it for the 3 days. But in round 2, I couldn't actually go back down to the clinic for an ovulation scan because of some work commitments. So they said, yep, fine, no worries, we can just monitor you by bloods. So I went in and got bloods taken, nothing. I had to go back in and got more bloods taken, nothing. By this stage, I know for myself, my cycle is a little bit longer than normal. So I usually ovulate on day, like say 16 to 18 rather than like 12 to 14. I remember I've even got some videos on my phone of me like just talking, saying it's day 18 and I haven't ovulated. So during round 2 of letrozole, I decided that I was actually going to take ovulation strips again, just for the fun of it, I guess, purely because I wasn't going back down to the fertility clinic as well. So I just wanted to kind of monitor it, and I never got a positive result. So this was like towards the end of a week, it might have been a Thursday, was my day 18, and yeah, nothing. So I was going back in on the Monday to get more bloods. The results came back saying, oh, you ovulated over the weekend. I was like, great. We were trying regardless, so it doesn't really matter. But yeah, I think I was a little bit disappointed that I couldn't capture it in the bloods. They said, yep, no worries. Give us a call on your day 1 of your cycle and we'll go through the process again. Or if you're pregnant, obviously give us a call. During this time, we were actually packing up to move into our new house. I thought to myself, I'm not going to get time to go down to the fertility clinic. I just decided not to give them a call and that we would just skip this month and see how we go. So this has now brought us up into March of 2020. And we were meant to start round 3 of letrozole. So you guys are now up to date with our trying to conceive journey. I am currently in the 2-week wait. So I have actually done a pregnancy test about a week ago, and of course it was negative. So I don't have my hopes up for this month, but that's okay. We'll always try again next month. So I hope you guys have enjoyed these videos so far. If you have, please give me a thumbs up and subscribe to my channel because it would really, really help me out. And I will be uploading videos every Friday.